get into it. Yes, it turned out so good. Like, it turned out so good. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for clicking on this video. So if you haven't already, pause this video, take some time to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. We would love to have you as a part. I would love to have you as a part of the family. So I filmed a makeup look on, I filmed a, tutorial on this look right here. This was the look that I was wearing in my previous video. If you haven't seen that video, it will be linked down below. But I wanted to film it for you guys so you can see how I got this look. Thank you for clicking on this video. I really do appreciate the support. It doesn't go unnoticed. Comment down below and tell me what's your favorite part of the look. Stay tuned if you would like to see, more about this look. So I'm starting off by outlining my brows, and that's quite a lengthy process, so I did speed this part up a little bit. Then I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer to use as a eyeshadow base, as well as to clean up my brows and outline them too. Typically I stay away from highlighter brows as far as highlighting the top of my brows, but since I knew that I was doing my eyeshadow first and I was going to be blending it in and putting my foundation on top, it was fine. If you see me smiling throughout the video, that's because I was on the phone with my brother. But anywho, now I'm using the Jackie Aina palette and the Morphe palette for my eyeshadow look. So I started off with the Morphe palette and I use that in my inner crease, my outer crease, and to just like as a transition color, my outer V, and just to blend that in. I like to do that, go in with my bronzing color or contour color. Next, I'm using the palette in the shade Ginger from the Anastasia and the Jackie Aina collab palette. So I'm using that, just to deepen it up, give it some more color. I'm going for a brownish base, and afterwards I'm just continuing to blend that in, because I want it to look seamless and I want it to look smooth. I don't want it to be too like too much of chunks of color in one space or deposited in one spot, just like a blob of color. So I'm taking my time and making sure that I do go in and blend that out. Next, I believe I'm going to be using the Jackie Aina, the Jackie Aina and Anastasia palette again in the color Soleil, and I'm just using that to make like a semi-cut crease. It's not going to be a sharp cut crease, but I'm using that as a base because I'm going to go in after that with a loose pigment. So I want that to be the base color so the pigment reflects better. This is such a pretty color, and it really just it gives off like that goldish foily look, and I'm really liking how the look is turning out so far. It does take some time just to pack that color on, so you want to take your time. I did speed it up, but you want to take your time because you don't want it to be messy. So take your time and just building that color up, and figuring out how you want it to go on your eye, and so that it matches your eye shape. So now I'm just going in and I'm doing the same thing on the other eye. So again, like, even though it's sped up, I am taking my time with my placement so that I don't have shadow all in my eyelashes and all over my face. Next, I'm going to put down the Anastasia glitter adhesive. That worked really well. I found that it really gripped the pigment, and I really liked how it made the pigment just stay in the place that I set it down. So I really enjoyed that one. However, I did notice that throughout the day it did kind of like dry up and kind of get patchy. So that might be user error, but I did want to note that. I did go back and use the shade Credit from the palette just to go on and deepen up my outer V as I was waiting for that glitter adhesive to dry, because it was really wet. So I didn't want to just go ahead and put the pigment right on it. I wanted it to dry down a little bit. Now I'm going in with the pigment in white gold and, you know, putting that on top. I didn't really use a lot. Now I'm also using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Liquid Glow highlighter. I like to put this under my foundation to give you like that lit within type look. I don't do this every day, just like, you know, when I'm going full glam. So now I'm just taking that same shade of brush that I started with and just kind of blending out around my sides, around the edges, because I didn't want it to just look unfinished. Now I'm going in with a cosmetic sponge and I'm just applying my foundation. I really like the Nars Soft Matte Foundation, and I'm then liking applying it with a cosmetic sponge and then going in with my NYX Cosmetic brush to, you know, really blend it out. I found that I use less foundation that way, but I get, you know, the coverage that I want and that I need. So I'm just going around and, you know, buffing that in my face, not really doing a whole lot of swiping, but just kind of like buffing it in the skin. Next, I'm going in with my Tarte Shape Tape. Again, this is the same Shape Tape that I use as my eyeshadow base. So that's the trick, ladies. Use your product multiple ways when you're doing your makeup, because it'll save you in the long run. But yes, I'm going in and I'm highlighting my forehead, the bridge of my nose, underneath my nose, and underneath my eyes. This is my favorite part. I'm taking my little mini handheld fan and I'm just drying down my concealer a bit, making sure not to dry it down too much so that it's still blendable but that it sets quicker. Then I'm going in with my beauty blender and I am blending it out around my forehead, down the bridge of my nose, on the bottom parts of my face. But then I'm making sure not to go in and blend right up under my eye because I wanted that to dry down a little bit more. So then I went in with my Fenty Beauty MatchStick. I absolutely love this because of the way it blends. It has such great blendability and it really just blends into the skin nicely. You don't have to do a lot of work. So I really love that about this product. I don't know what that face was, but you know, you make silly faces when you're doing your makeup. So I'm just blending that in, you know, making sure to give like a more of a warmth, using it more of a bronzing, cream bronzer as opposed to like a deep contour. Now I'm going in really quickly with my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, translucent setting powder. So I'm going in with that. And if you're wondering about my particular setting powder, I did get the 25th anniversary edition one, so it was a bigger one, and that's in the shade Translucent Honey. I just really love the product, and I was like, you know, while they have them in this size, I might as well get one. And I actually purchased another one for backup because that's how much I love the product. So I'm really happy that they came out with the Translucent Honey shade. And, you know, I really like how, you know, it just sets my makeup. So I'm going in to set my makeup with that. And just kind of do a little slight baking. Then I had to go get my e.l.f. and my Charlotte Tilbury setting mist. So I'm going in and I'm just, again, going back to clean up my eyeshadow as I'm doing some slight baking. I really don't like to bake a lot under my eyes, but kind of just to give like a slight contour to my nose, as well as to, you know, like to really accentuate the jaw and the cheekbones. So I'm going in and I'm just doing, you know, adding a little pop of black. And I believe that was from just my Morphe palette, a Morphe palette that I had that had a black shade in it. So I'm just using that just to deepen up my outer V a little bit. And I'm blending it in with Credit from the Jackie Aina palette, just to, you know, make it a little bit more seamless so it doesn't transition from really light to really dark. Then I'm just going in and I'm buffing out and blending in that translucent powder without adding any product, just buffing it out from under my eyes, around the sides of my nose, under my nose. And then I'm taking my foundation brush that I use and blending out the powder that was under my cheekbones and all over my face. Now I'm going in with the Charlotte Tilbury powder, and I'm just adding a little bit of that for highlight, not necessarily more powder to set, but just to brighten it up a bit. Then I'm going in with my Morphe, I believe it's called the Morphe Bronzer, but my writing has rubbed off on it from just wiping it down and sanitizing it. So I really love their bronzers. It's a big one and I really enjoy using that. Next, I'm going in with the Anastasia Liquid Liner. I feel like they should sponsor me for this video because I didn't realize how many products from them I use, but I really love the brand and I really love, you know, their products. So I'm going in and I'm just giving a straight liner. I didn't do a wing or anything. And then I'm going in with my L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara just to prep my natural lashes to adhere the falsies. And I really love the Eyelure number 126 lashes. I just really love how they look on my eyes. Next, I'm going in with my blush from NYX Cosmetics in the shade Raizin. So this was a recreation of the look that I had on in my last video, and if you haven't seen that, I will link that below so you can check it out. But I end up choosing, in that video when I originally filmed it, I did my lip first and then I added blush, and because my lip turned out a little bit more orange than I had anticipated, I was actually going to go for like a pinky nude, and it turned out more orange, so that's why I went with the Raizin blush. Now I'm using a fan favorite, the Trophy Wife from Fenty Beauty. I absolutely love this. Initially when I got it, I was like, oh, this is a little intense, but I felt like it just really went with this look, and it really made it look really nice and really complemented the eye look really well. So I'm just adding that on my upper cheekbones and, you know, a little bit on my forehead so that it like gives you that shine. I did go in and just kind of, you know, fix my brows a little bit, because sometimes when you're doing like powders and you're doing, you know, like foundation, your brows can get messed up and lost. But I personally like to start with my brows just to give me some shape, you know, when I'm doing my eyeshadow. So next I'm just going in with a foundation brush or buffing brush with nothing on it, just to buff out that highlighter. Then I'm going in with the Sephora Microsmooth powder to set my whole face. And again, I'm using my foundation brush that I used originally because it's just going to help it blend, you know, blend everything together. You want everything to look blended. Then I'm going in with my NYX Cosmetics Brow Gel. I really enjoy this product as well. It really holds your brows in place throughout the day. Now I'm doing my other favorite part, and that's setting my face. I really love the e.l.f. setting spray, and it's only about $8 to $10 depending on where you purchase it from. I really love it, and I absolutely use that for like an everyday look, and I just love it for like removing that powdery look that you get just from, you know, using all your setting powders. So then I go in again with my mini fan just to dry that down. Then I go in with the heavy artillery, okay, the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray, and I enjoy using that, especially, you know, when I'm doing a full glam look. But for every day, I really just stick with using my e.l.f. Cosmetics one. Now I'm going in with the Morphe. It's called the Color Pencil, and it's in the shade Vibes, I believe it's called. And then it's a MAC liquid lip. I have to get the name of this lipstick, and I will link it below. But going in and just, you know, blending them together. Then I'm using a Buxom lip gloss. I believe it's in the shade Mai Tai, and just blending everything together so it comes together nicely. And then I like to blot on a paper towel just so that, you know, everything, you know, blends together, looks nice. And cleaning up my lip, just taking my beauty blender that I had used with the little bit of setting powder that's still left on there, and just cleaning up around my lip. That's the finished look. I am really enjoying it. I loved how it turned out. It turned out really well. I loved recreating this. Again, like I said, I had filmed this earlier, and then, you know, like half of my face was cut off in the video. So I was like, oh, I have to refilm it. So yeah, I decided to, you know, just refilm it for you guys. But I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one. So, hi guys, if you haven't already, check out my new video on YouTube. I'm talking about some tips and tricks if you are a bride-to-be, or if you know a bride-to-be,